We continue today in the 20th letter. As we said, this letter was written several days before the Alter Rebbe's passing. It gives us a new understanding of the material world that we live in. And this specialness there is in physical mitzvahs done with physical objects. Where do you struggle in life? Is life meant to be a struggle? And why? Why is it that way? So we'll get a little understanding of those things in our quest to understand many things. So, we understand with our minds the concept of cause and effect. In Hebrew, it's called Ila va'olol. What we don't understand is something from nothing. Creation ex nihilo. In Hebrew, it's called Yesh Mi'ayin. Now, Yesh Mi'ayin means there was nothing before. We'll explain that in a moment what that means. And then there is a yesh meaning a substantial being that feels their own selfhood. They are, right? It is, therefore it is. Now, we're told that God creates the world something from nothing. But is not something from nothing coming from God, and therefore the only reality is God? And is it not all of creation nullified before God? So why does the world have to be created something from nothing? Why can't it just be created something from something? Or, shall we say, something, cause and effect, which is something from something. Of course, God creates the first something out of nothing. But that's not what we're talking about over here. And therefore, there's a evolutionary process of something, from a mustard seed, that develops further and further. That's all cause and effect. God is creating this world right now, and at all times, something out of nothing. Why couldn't it be that God is creating the world something from, creating the world, cause and effect, Ila va'olol. So let's understand the difference between cause and effect and the way God is creating the world, something from nothing, creation ex nihilo. We've discussed a bit. Now we need a little deeper understanding. Cause and effect means that there's a linkage. The cause creates the effect. So it's linked, one with the other. And there's not really essentially a huge difference between the two. So for example, what causes emotions? Is it the way, ideally, is our intelligence, perception. How we perceive something will determine how we feel about something. Actually, it's always that way. Question what the perception is. It's always that way. Our perception, meaning our minds, the way we see it, the way we understand it, will develop emotions. That's cause and effect. Now, in intelligence, in our perception, there is an emotive aspect of intelligence. It's like when you get excited about an idea. There's the cold, dispassionate mind that understands. And then there is the emotion within intelligence. Why is there emotions within intelligence? Very simply, because it causes intelligence, so it has to have some kind of emotion within the intelligence. Furthermore, in the cause, which is the emotion, right, that you feel and that you actually feel, there's some intelligence there. It's an understanding heart. Why? It's because cause and effect. There's a link. So even though this is the intelligence that's affecting the emotion, in the emotion there has to be some kind of intelligence that's there, again, the understanding heart, in order to give it that the feeling should be there. So there's intelligence within emotions, and there's emotions within emotions, the full-blown emotion. That's cause and effect. Now, the idea of cause and effect is that you are you're connected, and you are dependent on the cause. You are aware of the cause. In a certain way, you are actually nullified to that cause, because that cause created the effect. Even though essentially they're not so different. Now, if God were to create the world that way, that's coming from him, cause and effect, as much as you want to link things and, chain, thousands and tens of thousands or even more links, yet the bottom link has an essential connection to the top link. And therefore would be, so to speak, connected, meaning nullified to its source, because its whole existence is only from its source. So if we were to be created only by the power of Ilavolo, cause and effect, we would be linked up to our ultimate source in God, and we would recognize it. And that's like angels and souls in the spiritual realm. They are getting the light of God that is something that is within their realm of apprehension, comprehension, delighting in it, because it is there in the spiritual worlds, a cause and effect. But God doesn't create the world this way. He creates it something from nothing. He creates it something from nothing. So let's understand what that is. Before there was a something, right? A substantial physical thing, there was nothing. Well, what do you mean nothing? I mean, there was God. We call it nothing because two things. It's something we cannot comprehend. It's an existence that's not similar to our existence. Intelligence and emotions have a similarity. That's why there's emotions within intelligence and intelligence within emotions. Right? They're not completely, different existence. No, the emotions comprehends the intelligence, and intelligence has a feel of a feeling, so to speak, within it. So there's a similarity. That's the linkage. Something from nothing is saying, no, there's no linkage. We can't comprehend that existence of God, what it is, before creation. We have no mind that can comprehend it. We have no experience of it. Therefore, our relationship to it is it's ayin, it's nothing. Because of that, I can then now, that something doesn't feel its source. Therefore, I feel to be an independent individual that is a real thing. I'm real. Look, I pinch. Right? I feel. I understand. I see I'm picking up space. That is what God creates. What's the truth, though? Well, from our perspective, that's the truth. From God's perspective, that's not the truth. We are like the ray of sun within the sun. We are totally nullified and bound up in one with him. We're not separate from him at all. If God were to create the world something from cause and effect, we wouldn't feel that separateness. We would feel that we are connected to our source. With this now we can understand why there's struggle in life. It's not like, there's struggle in order that you can, earn your keep. It's much more than that. It's inherent to the process of creation. And ultimately, it's the whole purpose of creation. The greatest struggle in life is not an orientation that I have, kind of gender orientation, what kind of sexual orientation, or what kind of, what kind of negative character qualities do I have? Do I have anger problems? Do I have being judgmental problems? Do I have haughtiness issues? Now, not to suggest that those are things that we need to deal with, but there's something much greater than that. That I have a perspective that I am. Not only I exist, I'm a reality, I'm a something. The truth is, that's the truth from our perspective, but the whole purpose is to come to an awareness and ultimately some kind of feeling that I'm not. I'm really a ray of light within the sun. I'm really part of God. Now that's a real challenge to come to that. Righteous people do. We're not going to truly get there. But at least we need the awareness and we need to know. What is the consequence of this? So I'm going off on a tangent now that the Alter Rebbe is not speaking about. The tangent, then I don't take myself so seriously. I don't take my somethingness seriously. But you know what I do take something serious? The fact that I'm really part of God, and therefore, in order to be a part of God and not to be outside of him, what he wants, what he needs from me. What he needs, I'm there. What he wants, I'll do it. Why? Not because of a reward, not because it makes me feel good, because my somethingness is a perspective that God created in order that I should struggle and get beyond that and realize I'm really not something. Here we mean something in the fact that you exist, not the value of your life. Your life is invaluable, especially to God. So I'm not talking about your purpose. Talking about the fact that you exist. The fact that we exist, well, that comes from, ultimately it's nothingness. Because I'm really a part of this sourced within God and a part of God. I don't feel it naturally. I don't experience that naturally. Why? If I was created by cause and effect, then I would. But since I'm created something from nothing, so God creates this sort of vacuum that I feel I am. And the whole point to struggle is to feel that I'm not. Not that I'm not, but that God is. He is. And that will, and it's not so much of the feeling of it that's important, it's the consequence of that will be that if someone hurt my feelings, well, I get over it really quick. If you lost something, your car was stolen, you get over it quick because it's an existence. It's not a true reality. Yes, from our perspective, that's the whole struggle, is to get beyond our perspective, the human condition, to be able to at least understand, perceive, I don't know, to feel on some level at least, or on some level, that, I'm not everything. I'm not the end all and be all. It's not about me then. That will be the consequence. It's not about me. It's what I'm needed for. That's a struggle, because naturally, I see the world what I want, what I need. And God creates that world because it's something from nothing. So I don't feel my source. I don't sense my source naturally. That's my avodah, that's my work. That's my struggle, is to work and to try to make that a greater reality. Again, it's not so much about the feeling of it, it's the awareness of it, and that awareness is brought into an effective behavior. So again, someone hurts you. If you're part of God, how could you be hurt? Someone, you lost something. If you're part of a greater reality of God, you're going to get over it pretty quick. The more I feel my existence, the more I feel my reality, the more I'm going to feel what I want in that reality. And when I don't get what I want, I'm going to be truly pained. So the separation that we have, the fact that I'm feeling an independent being and living life from that perspective is not what we're here for. 99.99% people, that's how we live. Even us who are watching Tanya right now and learning this for a long time, even myself, to, a great degree, or a part of, I don't know, great degree, but whatever, definitely, for this to become really integrated and a part of us, and that this is what we're working on, this is what we're struggling with, is, we have to ask ourselves how much we're doing that. We're going to be presenting in the future Tanya Therapy to help us to not just have this as an idea, but to bring it into practice more. Because that's what we need to do. Because once we working on this, things will fall into place. I hope that's all clear. Any questions? Tarak, okay, the sphere of Yesod. In letter 15, we actually discussed that. Another time we'll deal with that. All right, I don't see any questions unless I'm missing it. It's hard sometimes to see. All right, folks. Forthcoming classes are going to be dealing in greater detail in Kabbalistic language. And we'll try to bring it down to a bite-sized understanding of the whole process. The more we understand the process of creation, the more it becomes real for us. The fact that we come from the ayin, creation ex nihilo, from the nothingness of God. And then the more we can appreciate that that's the true reality that we need to become greater. We're not only more aware of, but living with its results. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zurich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a wonderful day.